Hi there, thanks very much for tuning in again. I'm really happy that you're watching. This is webinar number 13 about my book, Why I Cry on Airplanes. Now, talking about the number 13 and about airplanes, did you know that a lot of airlines don't actually have row 13 in their aircraft? Even a big airline from a not so superstitious country like the Netherlands, airline being KLM, doesn't have row 13 in their aircraft. Just strikes me as odd, you know. Anyway, we have webinar number 13, and this time we're going to talk about this photograph, and this photograph was taken in a maternity ward in a small health clinic, rural health clinic, in a village right outside of Lilongwe, which is the capital of Malawi. What has always struck me about this photograph is this woman's facial expression. She's fed up, I think. And I think she's just ready to, for the baby to arrive and to get on with her life. That's what she looks like. I'm sure she's doing well now. This photo is 2 years old, so the baby should be 2 years by now. Now, I visited this clinic as part of the production of Kulinga Mawa, which is the film I shot in Malawi about population growth. And I started episode 1 of the webinars with that story. And there you could really see how stretched health facilities are with the rapidly growing population. When you arrive in the clinic, at first women who are pregnant and ready to give birth have to wait outside. And then when it's kind of your turn, you get to go inside, but you have to wait in the hall. But there are no seats in the hall, so you have to lay down there. Now, every woman has to carry their own kind of plastic tub and a couple of towels or drapes or whatever that are going to be used during the birth. Now, this photograph is obviously a little bit delicate. We were in the maternity ward because I wanted to shoot the opening scene of the film there. I thought it would be appropriate to start a film on population growth with a birth scene. So we'd spoken to one of the mothers. We'd gotten her permission. We arranged about how I was going to shoot it so that her intimacy would be protected. And the scene turned out really beautifully. And actually in the editing, we placed it in the front of the film as the opening scene. And it was voted down. In Malawi, the people that were supposed to use the film, take the film to rural areas, to villages, to show it with like a mobile cinema under a tree with the whole village there. If you remember, I showed some photographs in the first webinar. If not, you can look it up. Well, these people felt that this scene was too delicate for that audience. And whenever I think about ethical issues and consent and the issue of should people from the developed world, from the first world, whatever you want to call it, go to developing countries and represent the people that live there, or can these people do it themselves? All of that debate, whenever I think of that, I think of this photograph. Because this photograph reminds me of that scene that I shot and that it was voted down. And that for me, from my kind of cultural perspective, it was an appropriate scene. And this photograph is also, from my cultural perspective, an appropriate photograph. But from others' probably more the local one. It's not. I understood, at least not for everyone. And again, just to make sure, we did also speak to the woman in this photograph and also got her permission and explained what we were doing. But still, I totally and fully understand the debate there, and I think it's a very important debate that is happening right now about representation and about how people from different places represent each other, or whether those people should represent themselves. Now, I mentioned a film again. I showed you a clip in the first webinar. The first webinar was about Rhoda, one of the main characters in the film. And I think this is a great excuse to show you another clip from that film.
Inde kudwa mitengo ndikole sino kwa bakhuba jamuna maona so kumusi kwa mai kujambikesha ibo mpa yeji taje zira bamuja tabwe hanyinto bonya banja zikuta kumene mbali yakuja dinali kuja mene ja koso wangu ndi anthu moja mabwera sokuti ne kukhangala kwa tununu zikuta koma no mbuyo nazo zifu Kumana kumuzomezi kuonekera zakhala kuti mwina solo malo ulima atasowa facha kuchulukana ndiye nkhuni sizapezeka zizaoneka nthawi kuti zakhala zili bwanji koma zikuoneka kuti nkhuni zakhala zasowa nanga si ine mwina ndindela 6 wina apo 6 wina apo 5 wina apo makuti onse wakukula afuna malo koma ndoti anano ngasi kuti ali nyumba Komano kuti afikano poziti ine amayi ndi banja yanga ndofuna mundanga ni mpasi libeso za mundani we ukhana mmanja ukhala usakwanira nkhande umwe kuchulukana Stella,
This project also makes me realize that not every film has to be on television, or be sent to festivals, or open in a cinema. You know, the documentaries that you see on television, or that you might visit at festivals, particularly the main competitive programs, you know, a festival like ITVA here in the Netherlands, or Movies That Matter. Those films are generally the tip of the iceberg. And so maybe it's a good moment to just recognize that there are so many more filmmakers who are making films that are equally effective, that are making a difference in the world, who are not choosing that channel for distribution and who are using their films for other purposes, for activism, for education, etc. So there's a whole diverse kind of wide spectrum of filmmakers out there working in this field. I'm going to leave it at that. And traditionally, or as is tradition, I'm going to show you the photograph for next Thursday's episode, Thursday the 21st of May. This photograph was taken on a river in Bangladesh, and there's a definite story behind this image, and I'm going to tell you all about it on Thursday. If you don't own the book, this is what it looks like new, wrapped in biodegradable plastic, and you can get it at whyicryonairplanes.com. That's where you can also see all the other webinars if you missed a few. And I'm posting a discount code right now on the screen as a thank you for having made it this far and having sat through episode 13. All right, thanks very much, and I look forward to seeing you on Thursday.